Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and it's Tuesday, which means it's time for our weekly tier list Tuesday. And 2 weeks ago, I did a video tier listing every single coach, and some of you guys wanted me to do general managers. So now we're ripping general managers, all 32 general managers, and we're gonna flip in tier list them. We got 5 different tiers: great, very good, good, solid, meh / bad, because I think there are some actively bad general managers in the NHL. Let's not waste any time with these guys. It's mainly going to be based on what they've done with this job that they currently have. Like Steve Yzerman, I'm going to definitely rate him more so what he has done in Detroit in like 6 or 7 years at this point, 6 years, than say Tampa Bay. I might factor that in a little bit. Someone like Don Waddell, though, considering he just got to Columbus, I might factor in Carolina a little bit. But you get what I'm saying. It's more so about what they've done on the current job. And up first, we got Steve Yzerman. You might think, considering I'm viewed as a Yzer plan hater, I would put him in meh / bad. I'll go with solid. The drafting, as of right now, has been pretty encouraging. Raymond, hit. Sider, hit. Edvinson, looking like a hit. Has the free agency deals been good? No, they've been straight up bad for the most part, but I still think the core has been pretty solid. It's a solid core as of right now. Will they get to that next level? We'll see, but I think you got to go with solid right now. Obviously, in Tampa Bay, he was very good to great, considering some of the late round steals that he had, like Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, but that was like a decade ago, so can't factor in as much. Gruyere, I'm going to go with good. I think what he's done as the San Jose Sharks general manager is like honestly great, but it's pretty easy to look great in a rebuild, especially like a nuclear rebuild, where you're just shipping out prospects, shipping out serious pieces for prospects and picks, and we just don't know if he's going to hit on every pick, if he's going to hit on every trade. He's doing a great job. I think he's building it the right way, but there's still just such a long way to go until they're an actual playoff team, even, let alone a contender. Probably another 2 to 3 years, where I can't say that he's a very good to great general manager. He's accomplishing his goals, but again, it's pretty easy to look good in a rebuild. And that same logic goes for Kent Hughes. He walked in, and they were kind of blowing it up after that fluky 2021 Stanley Cup run. He's done good. He's done good, especially in the drafting department, getting guys like Lane Hudson. But we can't say that he's very good to great, especially when you look at Kirby Dach's trade, 13th overall. Kirby Dach's been consistently injured and was consistently injured before that trade. The Alex Newhook deal's kind of looking like shit. But still, I think that he's done a good job. Line A deal, great in that regard. But again, rebuilding general manager, can't put him in the very good to great. Ron Francis, I think Ron Francis is an actively bad general manager. It has not been good when looking at his free agency deals. Grubauer, F-. Chandler Stevenson, probably an F D- right now. Brandon Montour's look good, but that contract's probably going to look horrible by the end. Had a good expansion draft with guys like McCann and Dunn, but outside of that, it has not really been that good for the Seattle Kraken. I think that they're squarely in that no man's land as of right now, and Ron Francis has a lot to do with that. Kevyn Adams, we thought after the 2023 season that he was one of the brightest minds coming up after he signed Dylan Cousins, Tage Thompson to those cheap deals. It's tough because ownership doesn't really let him fully cook, but I think I'm going to go with meh. The fact that he had that team after 2023 and now they've regressed like they have, 80-ish points last year. This year might be around 75 points. Decided to buy out Jeff Skinner, then not really utilize that money. I think you got to put him in. He's definitely closer to the meh than I would say bad. He has done some good things, but yeah, I think he's in that bottom tier. Craig Conroy, I'm gonna go with good. Hasn't been on the job for that long, but had a pretty solid to good selling off period with the Calgary Flames after they had that 2022 run. They had a disastrous 2023 season. Conroy came in and kind of gave this team somewhat of a direction. I wish that they were worse than they were this season because they're not going to get a top 20 pick most likely. But still, the way that he's been able to replenish the prospects and some of their young guys are looking pretty good. He's done a good job thus far. Kelly McCrimmon, you got to go with great, considering he came in, after 2020 or 2021. I believe he was one that executed the Jack Eichel trade, a bunch of other moves that got them to win a Stanley Cup in 2023, and perennial contenders looking like they're going to be for the next 3 to 4 years. He's ruthless. You maybe don't like the way that he does business, but it's definitely effective in terms of winning hockey games, so I think you got to put him in great. Pat Verbeek, I would have said solid, maybe even good like a year ago, but I don't know, man. The Jacob Trouba trade was such a shocker in terms of him giving up a 4th-round pick to get him. Alex Killorn's deal is looking pretty shit. I think he probably should have traded Frank Vetrano as well. Has done pretty solid in the drafting department. Beckett Seneca we thought was a crazy pick, but looks pretty good, and Solberg was pretty good in 2024. But yeah, I'm kind of low on Pat Verbeek right now. I'm not going to lie. Rob Blake, he was kind of at the end of last season, he was in mess/bad after the PLD was such a disaster. He has rebounded a solid amount this season, but still, the Kemper deal has worked out for the LA Kings. But overall, his tenure hasn't won a single playoff series. I know he doesn't have the best superstar talent, but I'd say it's just solid, and I wouldn't blame the LA Kings if they lose yet again in the first round if he ends up getting fired. This one's an interesting one. Alvin at the end of last season would have been very good, but now I think you might have to bump. I'll go with good. I'll go with good. The JT Miller thing is such a shit show. Elias Pettersson's contract is not looking good. But yeah, brought in Lankinen. That was a good pickup in terms of stabilizing Thatcher Demko with his injury. I still think he's a good guy. It's just the locker room is falling apart. I maybe put that more on the coach and the leadership within the locker room than, say, Alvin. Did turn around since he's got to Vancouver. Even with how bad they've been this season, they're in a better spot now than with Jim Benning. Barry Trotz, you got to go with meh/bad. He went for it this offseason with guys like Marcia Sostamkos and Brady Shea. Has not remotely worked out. I think he has potential to learn on the job and become a good general manager going through this kind of rebuild, retool. They have 3 first-round picks. But, yeah, when you miss so massively on the free agency deals that he did, it's not good. He signed some great deals like Ryan O'Reilly and Gustav Nyquist, but this season just has been such a disaster. Kyle Davidson, I'm not that big on Kyle Davidson. I definitely want to put him in meh/bad. I think that he's done a good job in terms of selling off people for solid assets. The prospect pool is still very young in terms of guys making it to the NHL level. I like the Alex Vlasic extension a lot. He needs to do some kind of move, I think, this offseason. I talked about it on the podcast. He needs to get a good young-ish 25 to 27-year-old forward to put with Bedard. I'm sorry. Unless they get a top 4 pick, I don't even think that Misa and Martone or Higgins are going to be massive impact guys. He needs to give Bedard something relatively soon. Didn't love the Leshinov pick in 2024. I was very critical of that, but I still think Leshinov can be a very good player. We'll see. Again, they have a large quantity of prospects, maybe not the highest quality compared to some other teams, but if 5 of them hit, 5 out of their top 12 guys hit, you're going to have a good rebuild cooking. Bill Guerin, I even said after last year, I still think that he's one of the best general managers in the entire NHL. The way that he was able to lock up some of his guys on extremely team-friendly deals. Matthew Boldy, a 7 or 8 year deal at $7 million. Joel Eriksson Ek only making $5.25. Kirill Kaprizov was like a 5-year deal at $9 million. And especially the drafting ability by Bill Guerin. I think, was he? No, I don't think he was on the job for Matt Boldy. But getting guys, the Brock Faber trade for Kevin Fiala, who's a restricted free agent. He's just done a very good job. Danila Yurov looks like he's going to be a solid piece. Zeev Boyum looks like he can be the potential number 2 on a Stanley Cup winning team next to Brock Faber. Bill Guerin, very good general manager, and he's done this despite having to buy out Parise and Suter, which ended up, I think we could agree, is probably the right call compared to them making whatever $14 million. Yes, it's hurt them the last couple of years, but next season they're going to be really, really, really damn good. Doug Armstrong, I'll go with solid. He handed out some horrible deals the last couple of years, but Broberg and Holloway really, really were just damn good deals in terms of bringing in U25 talent. I could honestly, I'm going to move him up to good. The guy has won a Stanley Cup. I'll move him up to good. Bill Armstrong, the other Armstrong, I'm going to go with good. Came in as the Arizona Coyotes general manager, I think in 2020. They were in not that good of a spot. That was after they traded for Taylor Hall. He's done this rebuild very, very well. Got core pieces like Logan Cooley, signing Dylan Gunther to that 8-year deal, $7.1 million this offseason. He's done a damn good job. Completely changed up the defense core, shipped out Jacob Chikrin, then a year and a half later goes out, gets guys like Sergachev. He's done a good job, but again, hasn't made the playoffs, so I can't throw him in very good or something like that. Kevin Cheveldayoff, I'm going to go with great. I know that he has not made a Stanley Cup final. He made the Western Conference final in 2018. But what he's been able to accomplish, just be highly competitive in the Western Conference in a market like Winnipeg, being able to retain most of his talent, and the guys that he has lost have been Jacob Trouba, which was a good thing that they didn't give him some kind of 8-year deal at $8 million. The way that he's been able to draft and develop, he's been the guy since 2011 or something like that. So he's done amazing. He's not going to have a Stanley Cup, which some people are going to say he shouldn't be in the great tier. But what he's done in arguably the most unattractive market, not saying Winnipeg's not a good city, but just for NHL players, it probably is the least attractive market in the entire NHL. And he's had sustained success now, and they're having their best period the last 2 years. Jim Nill, I think also great the way this guy's been able to draft and develop. Also, well, made the Stanley Cup final in 2020, but doesn't have a Stanley Cup. But you just look at the 2017 draft: Heiskanen, Robertson, Ottinger. 2019 gets Harley outside of the lottery. 2021 Stan Coven at 47, Wyatt Johnson at 23. It has been insane how he came in, and they've just been a very good team ever since, for the most part. Transitioning from the Ben and Sagan era, you thought they were going to need like a nuclear rebuild around like 2017, 2018. He gets Heiskanen. They make the Stanley Cup final in 2020, and yet again are a high end contender. Chris McFarland, after that rant, I don't hate the Rantanen trade because, again, if he wanted that much money, although reports are coming out that they only offered him 11.75, I have not been that impressed with the Chris McFarland era, if I'm going to be honest. He got hired immediately after they won the Stanley Cup or promoted. Joe Sakic became president. It's been a little bit up and down for Chris McFarland, but I think that he's solid. Don Waddell, I'm going to go with very good. When looking at him in Carolina, he had sustained success there after the prior guy, Ron Francis, wasn't that good in terms of drafting and developing guys. Carolina looks like they're going to be a contender for the next 8 years because of the foundation that Don Waddell laid down. Comes into Columbus, brings in a guy like Sean Monahan that has been absolute money for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and as a result, they're battling for a playoff spot. Don Waddell's a stud. Danny Briere, I'm going to go with solid. He came in. No, I think Danny Briere has actually done a pretty good job. He came into Philadelphia. They were in this weird spot. They started to sell. And I think they definitely need one more season of sucking. They need that star talent to put next to Matvei Michkov. But he's done a very good job at accumulating assets. This draft is really going to be make or break for him. Has his own first-round pick, which hopefully, again, will be top 8. Edmonton, Colorado, has Anaheim's second-round pick. They're going to have 5 top 45 picks. So this is going to be make or break for their entire semi-rebuild, which Torts has elevated into them still being competitive. Fitzgerald, I think you got to go with very good. You see when he got the job, Ray Shero absolutely destroyed that team. It was bad. Fitzgerald came in, tweaked some things, made the playoffs in 2023 after some big moves in this offseason, fixed the defense core, as well as bringing in a guy like Jacob Markstrom that unfortunately got hurt. But yeah, giving out Jack Eichel an 8-year deal at $8 million. Nico Hischier, I believe he extended him. Brad Steele is looking amazing at $7.8 million. It's been great. It's been great for the most part for the New Jersey Devils. Chris Drury, I think you can throw him in meh/bad. I'm not gonna lie. Most of the core was there when he got there. I don't know. He was the one that did sign the Adam Fox extension, so that was actually good to a degree. But his main deals are that. Signing Trocheck has been pretty damn good. But yeah, he has not been able to address the 5-on-5 problems with this team, and this season has kind of been a shit show, although they're playing much better, and I think they're going to make the playoffs. Truba gets traded. Capo Caco, that deal looks bad. He gives Will Borgen 5 years, $4.1 million. I think I'm going to go with Drury and meh/bad. I'm going to put Lou Lamoriello in solid, though. I'm going to get killed for that. We're mid as hell. We're not going to lie. But what he inherited in 2018 was a below average to bad straight up team, and he's had some sustained success with it. Even this offseason, I think the Duclair deal was kind of a home run. Maxim Soplakov has been awesome for the Islanders. I still think he's a solid general manager. I'm not going to lie. Not good. Definitely closer to meh/bad than good. But I think he's a little bit overhated. He gives out way too much term on his extensions. Do not get me wrong. But I'm going to put him in solid. Oh, I have Brian McClellan here. Oh, I know. I have Chris Patrick in Brian McClellan here. Chris Patrick. All right, I'm going to go with... It's tough because he got hired on July 8th, so we don't know. He was definitely influential in the moves that Brian McClellan ended up making. But, yeah, so I'm going to put him in very good. Seems like he learned under Brian McClellan, who has been one of the best general managers for the past decade before he got the promotion to president. But, yeah, throw him up in very good. It's going to be interesting to see how they do him. Because, like, if they count all the moves this summer as Chris Patrick, he should then be the no-doubt Jim Gregory pick. Brad Treliving's been good. He was bad at the end of his Calgary term, but he's been good in Toronto, bringing in guys like OEL, Tanev, and Stolarz. So I got to put him in good as a result. Steve Stais, I'll go with good as well. Finally fixed the goaltending with Olmark. Levi Merilainen also looks very damn good. The Chychrun deal was a downgrade in terms of talent, definitely, but maybe more of a better fit with the right-handed defenseman instead of paying Chychrun another mega deal that they already had with Sanderson and Shabbat. He's done a damn good job in his short time. Don Sweeney, I'll still go with solid because his overall tenure has been pretty solid. Right now, it's definitely meh/bad. I wouldn't trust him to run my team, maybe. But, yeah, he's done some good things for the Boston Bruins. Bill Zito, great. You look at what he did since he got the job in 2020. It has been, for the most part, basically home runs across the board. Getting Carter Verhaeghe on the free agency market on like a 2-year, $1 million deal, trading for Sam Reinhart, trading for Brandon Montour, signing Evan Rodriguez 4 years, $3 million, extending Kachuk, doing the Kachuk trade, 8 years, 9.5. Gustav Forsling off waivers. Like, he is, it's kind of undeniably the best general manager in hockey right now. I don't think that's controversial. Julien Brisebois, great as well. Looked like he maybe lost his fastball a little bit after the Tanner Janelle giving up a first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. But this offseason, he was great. He moved out Sergachev, which, although Sergachev's playing good in Utah, I like that a lot, and opened up some cap space to, or maybe he did the McDonough one first, then Sergachev, but obviously he had those deals both in the works at the time probably. So yeah, revamped this team. Jake Gensel, awesome pickup. And as a result, Tampa Bay is looking like a threat in the Eastern Conference again. Stan Bowman, he kind of got cucked with the offer sheets. And I don't like him because he was the Chicago Blackhawks general manager before. I'm going meh/bad. F off. Tulski, very good. You can argue great, considering Sean Walker, Gothisbehere, great pickups. Roslovic, Eric Robinson as well. Then just pulls off the Rantanen trade. I can't go great because, again, he's in his first year. But if there's anyone approaching greatness, it's probably Eric Tulski. This is a pretty damn good list, in my opinion. Wait. I just realized I forgot Kyle Dubas. He's honestly in meh/bad right now, though. Like, what he has done, it's not been good in Pittsburgh. And he was in a bad situation in Pittsburgh, but he willingly took the job. That's on him. Jari extension, Graves signing, Carlson trade. It's not looking good based on his Pittsburgh term. And even in Toronto, I thought he made some innovative moves, but they didn't win jack shit under him. Well, no, did they win the first round? Yeah, I think they won the first round in 2023. But that's his crowning achievement, a first-round victory against a down Tampa Bay Lightning team. As a result, he gets meh/bad. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace!